Hey, what's good? It's Kyle Henderson and Andrew Bone. Double upload today right here on our YouTube channel talking the NFL Combine. Bone. Today, earlier, Evan Neal said he is 306 pounds. Dude's a monster, 6'7", projected #1 draft. In my opinion, if you're the Jags and you want someone to protect your franchise quarterback, you got to go with Evan Neal. What's your take on the big man?
I mean, this is a pretty special human being. I mean, he's a guy that has really developed his body over the course of the last several years. I mean, this isn't just a something that Alabama did. I mean, it started when he made the decision to transfer to IMG Academy back in high school. Because I remember he committed to Alabama early in his recruitment. He committed, I think, as a freshman or right after his freshman season to Alabama, and he's a big dude. I mean, he was 300 and 65, 370
Yeah.
pounds then, and then started to blossom a little bit. Got up to about I don't want to say he got up to 400, but he got pretty big and ends up decommitting, reopening his recruitment,
Oh,
and ends up transferring over to IMG Academy. And once he made that transfer to IMG, I mean, really got into a great strength and conditioning program there. Really transformed his body. Got down to 350,
mm,
340, but looked good, and he knew that there was something there that you could work with, and certainly something that Alabama always felt like he was the best offensive lineman in the country. I mean, they certainly wanted him to be as a part of their recruiting class. He wasn't a work in progress. I mean, we see these guys all the time that, all right, well, maybe if they get to campus and they can develop their body, they're working. This guy was already on his way. And
yeah.
this wasn't a project, but this was something that Alabama saw. This could be a an All American, a first round draft pick, potentially a top five NFL draft pick, and now we see where he's at, and obviously, give a lot of credit to the Alabama nutrition staff, training staff, strength staff, because they, obviously, and obviously the offensive line staff, because they did a great job really developing him into the player that he is today.
Yeah, I think when you look at Evan Neal as the player, clearly his physical attributes, stand out. 6'7", 305 pounds, or whatever he is today. I find it very interesting that he has so much versatility in the fact that he came as a freshman, started every single game at guard, and then switched to tackle, his natural position. So, if you've heard Evan Neal speak on, one of the videos that we've uploaded, or if you've even heard him, today on ESPN, you can just tell how articulate he is as a young man. And I think that's something that you want within your program, in terms of just, having all the physical attributes, but, also up top mentally being able to understand the game. So #1 pick, I would venture to say, yeah. I thought it was funny today. They asked Evan Neal, they're like, you have any funny Saban stories? And he was like, no, he's like, that's for another time. And they're like, come on, you don't work for him anymore. And he's like, yeah, but I still got to see him for the pro day. So, you know, hey, this is a 6'7" man, 305 pounds, who has the utmost respect for Saban. Let's call Saban what, maybe a 5'9", 5'10" at the highest. I mean, that might even be too high for Saban.
You're being nice, but he'll probably appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll try to be nice to you, Saban, if you see this. Jameson Williams, Bone. I think he was like 6 foot, 177 pounds. Not a big man. Wide receivers clearly don't have to be big, but I kind of revert back to Devontae Smith. And I don't know, Devontae Smith was like 167 pounds. And one thing that always stuck with me was Saban was like, well, the football is only 8 ounces or whatever. So that doesn't really impact his ability. But overall, when we look at Jameson Williams and you kind of see the transfers that have had the impact at Alabama, what was I mean, did you think that Jameson Williams would have this type of impact? And I know he's coming off an injury, but you think maybe first round, second round, you think he sneaks in somewhere in there?
Well, maybe. I mean, you remember the Raiders? All they cared about was what your 40 time was
Yep.
back in the day. So yeah, they might end up taking him if he runs a fast 40 time. Who was that a couple years ago? Was that Darius Hayward Bay that they took, shocking everybody? But I think Jamison Williams is a pretty special wide receiver. I mean, he had an unbelievable impact on Alabama's football team this past year. Yeah, I don't think anybody really expected that. I think they knew they had a talented player. They had a fast player. Was he? But was he just going to be your home run hitter? Was he just going to be somebody that when you wanted to go deep, you threw it to JMO, and he turned out to be a lot more than that. And I think that he's got a chance to. Yeah, unfortunately, with the ACL injury, I think he was a surefire first round NFL draft pick. You just never know what teams may be thinking, because I mean, obviously they're investing, a lot into your future, but yeah, I still think that Jamo's got a really good chance to potentially still go in that first round, and I think he's going to be a big time weapon for whatever. And hopefully, he goes into a good system with a good quarterback that's going to be able to get that ball to him. Because if he does go into the right system, uh, I think he's got a chance to really make a strong impact because he's got the speed, he's got that NFL speed, and faster than a lot of these NFL players. So he's going to have I think he can have a major impact at a great NFL franchise.
Want to ask you about two more guys. We got John Mechie over here. I was looking for a good photo of him. Said that it would almost be unfair if he went to the Dolphins or whatever. Considering I can't remember how it was put into context, but I mean, with John Mechie and kind of his route running ability, now I get it. He's not a top end speed guy. He's not a Jameson Williams, but I think where John Mechie flourishes, and I know he's coming back from injury as well, is the technical route running ability. I always felt that he was really good in that fact, and I think that you look to I'm not comparing him to Jerry Rice, but I'm saying that Jerry Rice was a technician in the sense that he ran his routes with precision. And I think that John Mechie is kind of cut from that same cloth as a receiver perspective. What's your take on Mechie in the NFL draft? And I also want to talk about Slade Bolden before we get you out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about John Mechie. I mean, unfortunately for the for him, just like Jameis, so for that late season injury, and that's going to be tough on him. But hopefully teams will look past that and give him an opportunity. But he's got that dog mentality. Definitely somebody that is going to go out there and do the dirty work, but can also catch a lot of passes just because of how great of a route runner he is and a technician that as you mentioned. I mean, he is one of the best route runners that we've seen, but he's also a great blocker, a great leader, and definitely somebody that I think any NFL franchise would be extremely happy to get. And is he going to be a major home run threat like JMO? Probably not, but can he make a lot of plays? Can he catch a lot of passes? Absolutely. And I think he's got a chance to really. Yeah, it's crazy to see all these wide receivers that have come through Alabama over the course of the last decade. Even longer than that with Julio. But all of them are, they're really good, but they're all a little different. They all bring a little bit something a little bit different to the table. They're not all the same guy. They're not all cut from the same cloth. So they're all a little different, and all have a chance to. All the ones that we've seen so far that are in the NFL have all made a tremendous impact, and I think that Mechie's certainly a guy that can do the same.
Last guy I want to talk to you about, Slade Bolden. Going in the NFL draft, going to give it his all. He's a player that was productive this last season. I mean, part of the trio: Alabama, Jameson Williams, John Mechie, Slade Bolden. When you look to the NFL and you see guys like this come out of the slot, and I mean, it might not be he might not be a breakaway player. He might not have the biggest size, but these guys are tough to deal with in the NFL, and it seems like more and more we start to see some of these guys the same size as Slade Bolden fit into the NFL offensive game plan. What's your take on Slade Bolden as we look to the NFL draft?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd love to go to the Patriots and be there with Mac, and knowing the way that they use their slot guys uh, over the course of the last 20 years. I mean, that'd be almost a perfect landing spot. But
Mhm.
it's the NFL draft. It usually never goes the way you think it's going to go. So uh, I think Slade is very dependable, very reliable. He ended up being a better player at Alabama than I even expected. Yeah,
Mhm.
I saw him in high school. I thought he was a good player. I mean, I thought he was an excellent football player back in the day. But in terms of playing at Alabama, making a big impact at Alabama. Now, did he have 1,000 yards receiving, every year? No, but he's he still was a starter in Alabama's
Yep.
wide receiver room, and definitely made a lot of plays. So yeah, I think he's got a chance. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up getting drafted, but definitely somebody that turned out a lot better than I think most even expected him.
408 yards receiving last year for Slade Bolden. And then I also have to make a correction. The weight of NFL football is not 8 ounces, as I said, it is 15 ounces. So that was quick correction that I have to look up, because I remember when Saban said that, I thought that was just like the quote of, I thought, Saban's always coming up with, killer Sabanism. So thought that was always funny. He's Andrew Bone. My name is Kyle Henderson, both a part of Alabama football right here on our YouTube channel. Go check out Bama Inside of the website, all the material, all the content right there at your fingertips. Big weekend of prospects in Tuscaloosa for a junior day. Rewatch that recruiting video. Bone, it's always fun to catch up, man. Bone and I, man, we like he's like Jordan, I'm like Pippen. So is that a good comparison? Right? Are you got if you're out there watching
I mean,
YouTube,
if you're going to call me Jordan, sure, yeah,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah, Bone's the GOAT, man. Yeah, I'm just Pippin. I'm just like on the side. I can come in, I can play, but Bone is the GOAT, man. So we
Hey,
appreciate.
nothing. This show would not be possible without Kyle. So
All right, he's Andrew Bone. I'm Kyle Henderson, both a part of Alabama football on YouTube. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Check out the NFL Combine. We'll be back with more content. Pretty much every single day. I'm just excited because we got Alabama football coming your way March 11th as the Alabama Crimson Tide start to gear up for the 2022 season, and we'll get you covered right here on Alabama football on YouTube. All right, see you guys.